Well, we've heard from the young guns. Let's hear from the Godfather himself, fighting out of Philadelphia. Philly Godfather, what do you got for us in the NFL this week?
I'm a little flustered with Coach, but let's go to Sunday. Let's go to Sunday night. My beloved Philadelphia Eagles. They've looked atrocious. They lost by double digits to the Redskins. I'm sorry, to the Washington football team, to the Rams. They couldn't beat a Cincinnati Bengals team that earlier in the year they had a projected Vegas win total. Said I think it was at 4.5 or 5. Their only saving grace has been basically their defense. And if you look at each team's defensive stats for this game, and you try to paint this total with a broad brush, this game definitely looks like it's an under game, under 45. The Eagles' pass defense on paper has played their defense has played very well, and they look good on paper. They're giving up an average of 224 yards per game, which is the 7th best in the NFL. But if you start digging a little deeper, your opinion starts to change somewhat. I think those defensive stats, like I said, for the Birds are a little bit skewed, considering the fact that the Washington football team ranks 28th and the Bengals rank 31st in the yards per pass attempt metric. So they played some pretty bad offenses that have skewed those defensive stats a little bit. And the Rams averaged right around 9.2 yards per pass attempt on them, so they weren't slowing them down at all. The Eagles' pass defense, in my opinion, isn't as good as it looks on paper. Then we move to another apparent strength that the Eagles have, which is a strong pass rush. Philadelphia's pass rush last week played lights out. They had 8 sacks on the Bengals. Again, their adjusted sack rate numbers look really strong on paper, but when you consider the fact that the Redskins' offensive line ranks 28th in the NFL in protecting the quarterback, the Bengals ranked 31st, and they couldn't record 1 sack against Jared Goff, which the Rams have basically a mediocre offensive line. I think they're ranked 12th overall in protecting their quarterback. It kind of tells you a little bit that these numbers are definitely skewed. Then you had the fact that the Eagles defense gave up a combined 50 points to the Redskins and the Bengals, 2 teams that have the 6th and 7th worst scoring offenses in the NFL. I had to bet the over 45 here. I think you cash a ticket. Everyone's trashing on Carson Wentz. I think he comes out with a chip on his shoulder. I heard Jeffrey's going to play. I heard Deshaun Jackson has a great shot at playing. So he's going to have some added weapons for the Sunday night matchup. And I think they're going to put up some points against the 49ers team, whose pass rush really ain't that good. They're ranked 21st in the NFL in the adjusted sack rate, with only 5 sacks on the season. And if you look at the teams they've played, their offensive lines ranked 15th, 19th, and 21st in the NFL in protecting their quarterback. So their defensive numbers are skewed as well. And we all know San Francisco's all banged up on the defensive side. I had to bet the over 45 points, JPL.